They don't run the business well at all.
They wanted Ronaldo, they got him back.
Were you even watching the Premier League last season?
These discussions aren't serious anymore. So the first controversial opinion is the Glazers are good owners.
Oh, controversial, he says. I disagree very, very strongly. Theo, come on.
The Glazers are good owners, slightly agree.
Slightly agree. Okay, Theo, let me start with this one. The Glazers, it cost them 800 million quid to buy Man United. Where did that money come from? Mostly loans. Now, when you take a loan, Theo, you pay interest. So every year, the Glazers were paying out tens of millions in interest.
Fine.
That is money that could have been going into the club. Secondly, they're paying themselves dividends all the time. Straight out money to the Glazers. They haven't renovated Old Trafford. They've left this toxic environment. They've been terrible owners.
Why would you blame them? Why would you blame the Glazers on the toxic environment? They wanted Ronaldo back, they got Ronaldo back. They wanted Pogba back, they got Pogba back. They have spent over $2 billion since becoming the owner of Manchester United. Is that not enough to get it right?
They've spent money very, very badly. And like I said before, of course they have.
Hold on. When they had Sir Alex at the beginning, 7 years, they won 5 titles.
They've not had Sir Alex for a very long time. They've not moved on. They've moved backwards since then. And I know what you might say in a minute. They've been good commercially. They haven't. They've actually lost out to teams like Tottenham and Chelsea and Arsenal commercially. They don't run the business well at all.
They've given the fans what they wanted.
They haven't.
Yes,
the
they
fans
have.
hate them.
They wanted Ronaldo, they got him back. Dad, let's not forget where Manchester United ended last season, before this one. Second, they've had Jose Mourinho over the last few years. They brought back whatever they wanted. Paul Pogba was a failure. The fans are blaming the owners on that. Why is it the owners' fault that the players failed?
Theo, fans have been disappearing in their thousands. They've gone to watch Salford. They've gone to watch FC United.
Then why do they sell it out every grind? Every week they sell it out.
Yeah,
That's
you're always going to get
That's wrong.
75,000 tourists. Theo, they've been terrible owners. They need to sell out. You need an owner that comes in who understands football, who the fans like. They need to renovate Old Trafford. They need to bring some pride back to that club.
Why are you so passionate about Manchester United? You should be worried about the clubs further down the table, like Derby County. Nobody can fix them. They were begging for even Mike Ashley at one stage, just to come in and give them an injection of cash. Birmingham City, they were linked with Lawrence Bassini. He is an absolute con. And you're worried about Manchester United.
Why are we even talking about Derby
Because
and
there
Birmingham?
are clubs out there who have it worse.
But that's not the opinion. The opinion is, have they been good owners? No.
They've been mildly decent. They've brought back what they've wanted. We disagree. Tell us in the comments.
Arsene Wenger did more for English football than any other manager.
Disagree.
Agree. Wow. We have different opinions again, Dad.
So go on, tell me.
Okay, the saying is, who's done more for English football? If we're talking trophies, I'll accept Sir Alex did more.
The reason I think Wenger's done more for football, let's talk about some of the players that he had and brought to the Premier League. Mikel Arteta, where's he now? He's managing Arsenal Football Club.
Patrick Vieira, he's the manager of Crystal Palace. You see where I'm going here? He's brought players and they've continued a long-term project for football. Sir Alex's players, I mean, Ryan Giggs, what's he doing? His brother's sister. Wayne Rooney just left Derby. Who has he brought to the Premier League that's helped English football?
First of all, I'm going to defend Arsene Wenger. I think he was a superb manager. The move from Highbury to the Emirates, a lot of good happened under Arsene Wenger. But he's a long way second best to Sir Alex.
How?
Who did all of those things and more. So look at Sir Alex. He won a lot more trophies. You know that. You accept that, yeah?
Yeah, I accept that Sir Alex won more trophies. But what they changed in English football, Arsene Wenger is a father figure. He's a hero. He changed the game.
Sir Alex Ferguson was also a father figure and a hero.
I agree.
He brought through youth just as much as Arsene did. And I'm going to read out the stats because they're important. 38 trophies in 26 years, 13 Premier League titles, 5 FA Cups, 2 Champions League. Arsene Wenger got nowhere near him. But overall, Sir Alex was a level above. But they're both legends of the game.
Arsene Wenger has more long-term projects from what he brought to the Premier League than your manager. Will you admit that?
No, I won't admit.
Why not? Tell me who he brought that's in the Premier League now. You'll probably say Ronaldo. Well, Ronaldo, they finished second before he came, and last season when they finished sixth, no trophies. Ronaldo was not a success. There's not a player you can mention that has a long-term successful project in the Prem.
That is a non-argument. You look through to that Man United team, and most of them have retired, Theo. You can't mention
and they
Ryan
go on to
Giggs in his private life. Giggs, Scholes, Beckham,
What's Scholes
the
doing?
Nevilles. It doesn't matter
Scholes
what they're doing
failed
now.
at Oldham Athletic.
That's not the judge of a good manager.
This is
bringing through players who turn out to be good managers. That's not a
That's
definition of a
what
good
they
manager.
bring them to English football, and they then prosper.
No.
This is where I've got you, Dad. I've locked you in.
So if Bolton Wanderers had 5 players in the 3rd level who turned out to be brilliant Premier League managers, you'd say that the Bolton Wanderers manager
If
was
he brought
better
them
than
to England, if he brought them to
Nonsense.
England,
Non-arguments.
that was the beginning of the story. We're
non-arguments there.
Dad, we're going to agree to disagree. The commenting, I have to work this one out.
Manchester United will be better without Ronaldo. Discuss, boys.
Oh, you're
Are you
talking
agreeing?
about the goat here.
Or disagreeing.
We know what this is going to be. It's another disagree. I think that was the idea. I'm just going to disagree with
Yeah.
everything you say, Josh.
3, 2, 1. Agreed. Thogden has agreed with the statement.
Were you even watching the Premier League last season?
Yeah, they finished 6th. And the year before, Ronaldo finished 2nd.
Yeah, it's a
No
team
trophy.
game, and Cristiano Ronaldo was one of probably 2 players in that Manchester United team, along with David De Gea, who played well.
Do you know
He
why?
played 30 games, he got 18 goals, 3 assists. He played well.
Manchester United attack and they look to Ronaldo. They only look to Ronaldo. The story is Ronaldo. It's all about this, I don't know, what is he now, 38 years old?
He's 37 here,
37.
and he's still brilliant.
And he's got no future because of his age. He'll retire soon. Yet Manchester United Football Club are happy to accept that he will be the pivot, the hold-up play, the goal scorer of all their attack. Do you know what's happened? It's ruined Marcus Rashford. It's ruined Bruno Fernandes. Do you know his stats before Ronaldo arrived? I think he had something like 18 goals and 12 assists the year before Ronaldo arrived. This season, 10 goals, 6 assists. Played the same amount of games. How do you explain that?
Cristiano Ronaldo had a good season last season. He was not far off the Golden Boot. He'd played more games, he probably could have matched the Golden Boot.
Fine.
He played well.
So where's the
and
trophy?
to take this argument that Marcus Rashford didn't perform because of Ronaldo, I think that's blaming someone else. I think it's like Kyrgios yesterday in that Wimbledon final.
I'll tell you this right
Blaming
now.
his family and friends.
Rashford would have had
Blame
a good
someone
season
else.
if Ronaldo wasn't signed back. If they didn't sign Ronaldo, Rashford would have succeeded because they would have looked towards him more on the attack and he would have played a massive part. Because I know there's a player in them. We've seen it previously and maybe it will come next season. But you cannot just rely on Cristiano Ronaldo or you will end 6th and you will end with no trophies because that is what's happened. It's a failure.
You can't
It's a failure.
blame the best player for your poor season. You can't blame someone else. You have a bad game. Okay, I'll blame someone else. I'll blame the guy who scored 2 goals. This is not logical. You're saying that without Cristiano,
the goals would
Rashford
come from
scores 20.
Van der Beek was great for Ajax.
Don't mention
Rashford
Mason
would have
Greenwood.
scored. Of course, we can't mention Mason, but there's way more talent in that Manchester United team. Sancho. What's happened to Sancho? It's not been a great year for him.
That's not Cristiano's fault.
He gets
Leo.
less of the ball. They're more focused on just making Ronaldo happy. And you know, he wants to leave now. He should leave because we're better off for Manchester United. I think I've won this one. I've got this one right.
No, you haven't.
I've got this one right.
Let us know in the comments what you think.
Drogba is the best striker in the Premier League era. Please don't disagree with me this time, Dad, please.
I'm back in Troggy.
Disagree.
I'm not letting you take Henri. He's a left winger. We're talking strikers. Who is the player?
Right, I'm going to give you some names here of people you could have chosen, right?
Yep.
And I'm not saying what I think until right at the end. Alan Shearer, 260 goals. Nobody has scored more than him in the Premier League era. Got a goal every
What's he won?
147 minutes.
What's he won in the Premier League?
So you're defining best striker by the number of Premier League titles, is that correct?
No, during the Premier League era, so it's everything. It's Champions Leagues, Premier Leagues, FA Cups, Carabao Cups. We're talking it all. I just wanted to see the trophy cabinet of Alan Shearer if you're talking about the
Okay.
best Premier League striker.
I'm going to give you then Wayne Rooney. Well, first of all, Didier Drogba.
You're giving me Wayne Rooney.
In the ranking of the Premier League goals, he ranks 31st.
Yes, and guess what?
He's not in the
it's
top
not
30.
about scoring goals.
Okay.
Didier Drogba's work rate was absolutely ridiculous. He dropped back, he helped out, he helped the team. That's probably why they won everything.
Okay, then I'm going to give you a guy who scored twice as many goals as Drogba and got almost twice as many assists, Wayne Rooney.
Yeah.
And he won more Premier League titles.
Yeah.
Now, for me, Wayne Rooney is above
First of all,
Drogba.
Drogba was in the Premier League for much less time than Wayne Rooney. And in that time, he won 4 cup finals from his own accord, 3 of which were at FA Cup, Wembley, one of which was the spectacular Champions League that he won on his own 2 feet against Bayern Munich. He scored the equaliser and scored the penalty to win it in a game which they looked absolutely out of it. Until
Drogba-
Schweini slipped, Drogba is a killer. He is a killer.
There's no one you can rely on more to win football matches in the Premier League ever, and that's why he won it all.
And I'm going to give you another name of a guy who got 187 goals, which is a goal every 169 minutes, exactly the same as Drogba. He won more Premier League titles than Drogba. His name is Andrew Cole.
You brought up Andrew Cole,
Yes.
for the best striker in Premier League era.
He nearly scored twice.
This discussion's not even serious anymore.
I'm telling you names that I put above
This
Drogba.
discussion's not even serious anymore if we bring up Andrew Cole.
Okay, there's a man, I know what you're going to say here. There's
Wayne
a man
Rooney.
called Harry Kane.
Harry Kane!
Who
What's
scores,
he won?
He scores a goal every
Dad,
129
can you just
minutes.
pick a player? You named half of them bloody well.
This player is the best player in the history of the Premier League. His name is Sergio Aguero.
No Champions League Aguero.
He scores a goal every 108 minutes.
Yeah.
Compared to 169 minutes for Drogba, 184 goals compared to 104 for Drogba. He won more Premier League titles. I've named you 5 better strikers. Drogba is...
You named me 5
excellent
strikers
striker.
who haven't won it all apart from Wayne Rooney.
3 of those names won more Premier League
I
titles
want you to
than
pick
your
a
man.
player and decide, okay?
Sergio Aguero.
Fine, tell us in the comments.
Celtic and Rangers could get top half in the Premier League.
I'm sorry to do this for everyone watching from
Amazing,
Scotland,
Agreed.
but I am saying disagree. Theo,
don't
you
agree.
can't agree with that. I know we love Scotland.
Here's why I agree. Celtic and Rangers, the level stature of their football club, how big they are, the amount of fans they bring everywhere, how much their fans will travel for them. Yes, right now, they do not have the budget in the Scottish League to make it in the top half of the Premier League. But the stature of their club means if they came to the Premier League and they had the budget of the Premier League, they would outdo teams like Bournemouth, Southampton, all the list of them. They would get top half. They would be from the 10th to 6th position because of the size of their club. They would attract footballers from all over the world.
Theo, listen to me. If Celtic and Rangers went into the Premier League tomorrow, all right, for this season, where would they finish in the Premier League?
Like 15, 16.
I'll tell you where they finish, and I'll give you what. Because I think there might be some partial agreement here. Celtic's squad is worth 88 million quid, all right? That puts
But
them,
you know what I'm saying?
that puts, I know exactly what you're saying, and I'll come back to that. That puts them bottom of the Premier League in terms of the value of the squad. Rangers have got a more valuable squad than Nottingham Forest. So by that level, that would be 19. Now, I know that's kind of a business thing.
Hold on, I'm going to point you here. When have you seen Nottingham Forest in the Europa League final?
I've seen them.
West Ham didn't make it?
I've seen them in
Barcelona
now the
didn't make
Champions
it?
League back in the 70s, but carry on.
Fine, you saw them then. This season, on the current team, you're talking about squad value, all of this. Rangers made Europa League final. And Celtic beat them in the league. So clearly, unless we're just going off squad value, they care more. They fight more for the badge. They would. I think their team right now would survive. And with investment of the Premier League budgets, they would be in the top half. That is why I said agree to this question.
But I think if they came in tomorrow, it would be a relegation fight, and probably they would both finish in the bottom 4 or 5. But I agree with you that over time, if they could survive, then new ownership money could come in, and they could become really big British clubs. But at the moment, they wouldn't survive. That's my point.
Unlike the other questions, we come to some agreement. Raheem Sterling will outscore Haaland. Disagree.
Go on, let's have some fun. I agree with that statement. Raheem Sterling will outscore Erling Braut Haaland.
You've lost it, Dad. You've absolutely lost it.
Well, I just want to be different because, Theo, just think about this. Haaland is exciting. It's going to be an amazing season to see what he can do. But let's not forget the adjustment. Coming from the Bundesliga to the Premier League, it doesn't always work. Jadon Sancho this year, we thought we'd smash the Premier League. He didn't. We've seen Timo Werner smash a hat-trick. He gets to England, he's not the same player. Haaland, I agree, is a higher level than that, but will he go straight in and score on day one? I don't know.
Yes, he will be. We will be inside the stadium at West Ham against Manchester City on his debut, and he'd probably have scored a brace or 3 goals to kick things off. Erling Haaland is going to set the Premier League alive. And Raheem Sterling at Chelsea, I actually think he'll do okay. But Erling Haaland is hungry. He's young. He's just got his big money move. He's already bantering the away fans. He's he's been compared with Mbappe. He's just on another wavelength to Raheem Sterling. I'm sorry, you're going to have to give in here. Last season, he scored 22 goals and 7 assists. That's 29 contributions. That season, he was injured at 5 different times for short-term injuries. He's still got basically 30 contributions, which is more than Harry Kane.
Haaland's stats are superb, I accept that. It's around a goal every game in the Bundesliga. It's more than a goal a game in the Champions League, I admit that. But apart from that adjustment time, what about rotation? Erling Braut Haaland's a young lad. He wants to play every game, but he won't play 38 games in the Premier League. he might play 28 to 30. So rotation plus adjustment might mean that he disappoints him. He might score 12 to 14 goals. Sterling gets a... Well, first of all, it depends where Sterling plays.
He will play every week.
Will he play on the wing? Will he play second striker? Will he play centre forward? And that is key.
You're forgetting the
because
crucial...
when he plays on the wing, Sterling scores a goal every third game, gets an assist every fourth game.
I'm sorry, those stats are not good enough. Haaland does it more than a goal a game. You're telling me 1 every 2, 3 for Sterling. I'm sorry, this is not discussion. If Haaland's fit, he will outscore Raza. City got rid of Raheem Sterling, got rid of Ferran Torres, got rid of Gabriel Jesus to free up space for Haaland.
Partly playing devil's advocate, I'm just saying there is a scenario whereby Sterling scores 14, 15 goals and Haaland doesn't quite live up to expectation in year 1. That's a scenario, although I actually agree it's more likely that Haaland will score more goals.
We will see.
Gareth Bale is a Real Madrid legend.
Agree.
Wait, what?
We've
Time.
actually agreed on one thing there. I mean, look, he's been... I looked at his stats, actually. He's been 9 years at Real Madrid. I know he went off on loan for a bit. 81 goals. That's a goal every 158 minutes for Real Madrid. Brilliant in the UCL. We all saw what he did in that final against Liverpool. 106 goals. 5 Champions League trophies. 3 Spanish champions. He's part of an amazing Real Madrid team. So for me... every one of those players is a legend. So
I think if you're a Welshman to go to Real Madrid, you have to be good enough. And the fact during his career they won 5 Champions Leagues, you can't say he was a failure.
Yeah.
Yes, he had his moments like Wales, goal for Madrid. That's why I might have put slightly agree because the fans and media hated it.
Yeah.
But what you can't deny is 2 of those Champions Leagues were won by the Welshman on his own accord, scoring the world's best goals we've ever seen. And if that was Ronaldo or Messi, he'd be up there with the best. There's not a bigger game you can score goals like that in football, and he did them to the best possible ability. That overhead kick, outside the box.
Yeah.
Real Madrid concluded him on their Legends website, and we agree. Simple as.
KULUSEVSKI is better than Bukayo Saka.
Oh my goodness.
Big one.
This is quite a tough one.
I'm going to go first here and say agree. I watched Bukayo Saka miss the penalty in Italy, and since then, he's hurt me. He hurt me to a point where I just can't defend him any longer. I'm joking. If we're talking clutch players, KULUSEVSKI's stats, he came for half the Premier League season, came in January, right? Under Antonio Conte, he doesn't always play, but did he get in your FPL team?
Yes, he did.
And he got in mine as well?
Yeah, alongside Saka.
Okay, fine. But this is what he produced in half a season. 14 starts, 5 goals, 8 assists. That's 13 contributions in 14 starts. That's nearly 1 per game. If it wasn't for his creativity in the second half of the season, Son would be nowhere near keeping up with Mohamed Salah. He was so far in January, and he was part of the reason. And can I just add, top 4 wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for his goal against Manchester City away when they won 3-2. And those 3 points basically got them top 4. Those are the big games when it matters.
This is one of those opinions where it's almost too early to say. Yeah. Let's not forget, he's playing alongside the likes of Heung-min Son and Harry Kane.
But you
and
can also argue, when they are the top players and they want to have the contributions, that takes away from them. You're playing against the best, and you just have to feed them, you have to play a deeper role. He's found a way of staying at their level and keeping up with them. That's not an easy job.
It's very tough to go into that Tottenham squad, Theo, and be as good as those guys. So, yes, I'll give that to him. But my point is we've not seen enough of him. Now, we saw him improve compared to his stats at Serie A.
Yeah.
Bukayo Saka had a wonderful season. He played in every single game. He was 11 goals and 7 assists.
In 36 starts.
Correct, Theo.
That's 1 every 2.
Correct, Theo. But I think that Saka is more important to Arsenal than KULUSEVSKI is to Tottenham.
But
I think
unfortunately, that's not the question. We're saying who's better. And off last season, you base it off half of Kulu versus double what Saka had. KULUSEVSKI had better stats. And who's playing Champions League football next year? End of discussion. Thank you very much.
And it's not.
And I'm
there.
right.
That is a non-argument because at times Saka really had to carry the team. Saka is 2 years younger, so we have to look ahead. Who would you rather have in your squad over the next 5 years? Bukayo, Saka. I think we say here the jury is out. We watch and see.
Modern football stadiums are overrated.
Okay. I'm going to agree.
Do you know what, Theo? I'm going to disagree with that.
Fine. The reason I think modern football stadiums are overrated. How much did Tottenham Stadium cost?
About £1 billion, we think.
How much did Etihad cost? I think it was around 100 million. Brentford's new stadium this season, 30 million. There is no stadium that should be costing around £1 billion. And that, for me, is what ruins modern football.
Do you think Daniel Levy is a smart businessman? Because he was behind the
No,
billion
he spent
pound-
£1 billion on a stadium. It's not worth £1 billion.
Okay, I'm going to disagree with you there from a business
Can I just say,
perspective.
I know Everton are building a new stadium, but Goodison Park, I got to go there before they closed it down. It had one of the best atmospheres in the Premier League. If it wasn't for the fans, they would have got relegated. Not say that about any stadium that's new with one of the grands. Here's another one for you. West Ham. I went to Upton Park. I couldn't get out alive. We used to beat them. We were the bogey team. Bolton always used to go there, used to win. What did we see outside the ground? People beating up the Bolton team coach, smashing the window. That's more of
But
football.
you're looking
That's what
at
we're
it
losing in the
from
game now.
an emotional point of
Olympic
view,
Stadium.
because every Bolton fan my age prefers Burnden Park.
Yeah.
Because that's what we remember. We remember the atmosphere. We remember our childhood and going to the game and standing on the embankment.
I'm thinking from a fan perspective. Some of our best games we've been to, Leeds away, Barnsley away, old-fashioned grounds that have fans right by the pitch, creating an enormous amount of noise.
Yeah, but Theo, from financial reasons, building that Tottenham Hotspur stadium
Fine, it's all about
over time,
finance.
Theo, listen, allows you to bring in the likes of Kulusevsky and Bentancur and Richarlison, because it allows you to get more people in, spending more money, not just on the ticket, but on merchandise, and on food and on drink. More money into the coffers of the club that can be invested in players. Now, I know there's an emotional side. I love Burnden Park and Upton Park, and all of those are old grounds, and Goodison Park. But the way football is, it's a money game.
Yeah, and you're basically saying you're picking money over fans.
No, because
Fans' experience of the football, they'll have more enjoyment back in the day.
fans have rose-tinted spectacles. I loved Burnden Park, but looking back to that, you'd go for a piss, and piss was flowing down, you know, because the toilets were terrible.
I never got to win at Burnden Park, but I really like the Reebok, and that's not a new stadium anymore. It was 99, right?
Yeah, but everyone my age, I'm saying, is just still dreaming of Burnden Park.
Fine.
And it's an
So
emotional
you
thing.
mildly agree then?
I love those old stadiums. I love going to Craven Cottage and
Yeah.
stadiums like that, and all those Archibald Leach stadiums.
If Hillsborough was scrapped and they built a new ground around the same size and it was all modern, mate, the big clock, you know, the owl design, all of that, like, I love it. In the away end, making noise, like Millwall. If they build a new stadium, that's going to lose its passion. The Den, like, come on, this is what football's all about. Argue about this forever. We're going to settle it here, Thog Dad. I slightly agree with you on a financial side, but from a football point, I prefer the old ground.
There's an emotional part of me loves the old ground, but I completely understand why Tottenham spent £1 billion on a new stadium.
Fine.
It makes sense financially.
Yeah.